Hello there. My name is Christy Jex. I am so excited to take a few minutes today to tell you about something that I have become so passionate about and something that has truly transformed the way I think, the way I feel, and what my whole life looks like. Honestly, I'm so excited to share with you about what does it mean to have it all. We hear that, and to be honest with you, before I really got what that meant, I would hear that and just kind of go, "What? No, you can't have it all." We always hear, there's only so much time and you can't possibly do everything. And so I was kind of not open to that idea at first. But once I really started to understand what this means and practice this, the more I started to buy into it and the more I have become so passionate about this concept. So, first of all, I want to just explain to you I want to tell you a story about where I was and how this concept really transformed my whole world. Last year, there was a point where I started to feel completely stuck. This concept was something that wasn't readily present in my life, and I actually was really struggling with perfectionism, with black and white thinking. I don't know if you can relate to that, but feeling like it had to be all or nothing, scarcity, fear, guilt, self pity, victim mentality, all those things completely had me paralyzed. I felt like I didn't know what to do. I was questioning everything I was doing, feeling like I wasn't showing up the way that I knew I could. And I was paralyzed. It was really frustrating. What I was struggling with is the concept of being an incredible mom. I love my beautiful children. I have four awesome kids that I have always dreamt of being a mom. That's what I've always wanted to be. It's what I aspired for. It's where my joy is. And I have always wanted to show up as an incredible mom. And that was really important to me. And also over here, I felt this drive to create value and to share a message and to help other people outside of my home and create a thriving business. I actually had already created a pretty incredible business that was taking care of our family. And I found myself in this pickle, feeling like I can't possibly be an awesome mom, feel fulfilled in that, and be a successful businesswoman showing up in my purpose that way as well. It has to be one or the other. My days are too full. I don't have time to do it all. I felt stuck. I felt paralyzed. I felt guilty. And it had me really feeling defeated. And so what I did was I started to dig into this idea. I started to really question some of the limiting beliefs that I had bought into, and I started to learn about this. And so, what I want to share with you is the mindset that I started to adopt, the mindset that I started to choose to focus on that totally changed everything for me. And I can honestly say right now, I know that we can have it all. I have chills even talking about that because I know so deeply that we were meant to have abundance. We were meant to have it all. We were meant to um, fulfill the desires of our hearts, whatever those might be. And so we can have it all. And it starts with the mindset that we can have it all. So what that looks like, I want to tell you another little story. I have done hair. I'm a hairstylist and I've done a lot of hair in my life. I love it. It's something that's brought me a lot of joy. I love to love on people, help them see their beauty, and all of that just really fires me up. So this one time I was struggling with my own hair and I've always done my own hair as well because I know what I like and I just chose easy and thought I'll just do it at midnight, when my kids are asleep and I don't have to take away from my normal life. Well, I was really struggling and couldn't figure out what to do. My hair was really dry. I couldn't get it to hold color and I was just frustrated. And I remember feeling like I don't know what to do. I'm going to go ask someone. I'm going to outsource this question and figure out if I can find what to do because I just don't know what to do. And I felt the angst of just like, this is so frustrating. And I felt stuck and I felt, defeated. And I remember thinking, okay, if my client came to me and said, my hair's dry, it's not holding color, it feels kind of broken on the ends, what would I tell them? And I had a complete shift. Maybe I do know the answer. Maybe I can figure this out. I removed myself from the situation and I said, what if it was simple? What if I did know the answer? What would the answer be if I knew it? You guys, I was able to come up with solutions and it was simple. It was just the idea that I was open to the mindset that it could be a simple answer. And I started to, instead of focus on the problem, I asked myself, what if I did know the answer? What if it was a simple answer? And I started to vibrate with the solutions instead of focusing, thinking, talking about the problem. I took a break from that. I put a pause on that and I said, what if I did know the answer? What if it was simple? And if I did know the answer, what might it be? And that changed everything. I got the answer. I was able to move forward. I didn't feel stuck anymore. And it started to move things, and things started to move forward. So that's the idea, is you've got to be open to the mindset that you can have it all. You've got to be open to the possibilities of what it might look like. A lot of times we get a white knuckle grip on what we think things need to look like. If I'm a mom and a really excellent mom, I can't possibly be a really successful businesswoman because it has to look a certain way. We have this mindset and we have a fixed picture of what it has to look like. And so when we hear the we can have it all, we go, no, I can't, because being an excellent mom looks like this, and being an excellent, successful businesswoman looks like this. So we can't conceive that we could have it all because we're so rigid in our vision of what that looks like. So being open to the mindset of, well, maybe it looks different than I thought it would. And maybe it can possibly happen. Maybe I can have it all. I'm just open to solutions. I'm vibrating with the solution instead of focusing on the problem. I got to be open to possibilities and open to maybe it looks a different way than I think, but it actually might turn out better than my rigid vision of what I thought it had to look like. Okay, so then once we have that mindset and we open ourselves to, what if I could have the solution? What if I could have it all? I'm open to maybe things looking differently. That is the gateway to being creative and actually being able to make it happen. So the mindset is first. Opening that, making sure we are asking, maybe I do know the answer. Maybe I can make this happen. Maybe it can look different. That's the gateway. And then we can be creative and we can create solutions. And I want to share with you 5 P's that I feel make this happen. 5 things that truly we can use to start to implement and create this shift in our daily lives and our mindset. So first P is pray. I'm a praying girl. I believe God knows the answers. If you're not a praying person, that's okay. Meditate. Get aligned with your center. Calm the chatter so that you can hear your intuition. You can hear what that higher power is telling you about what that next step is. And it also melts away the anxiety, the fear, the white knuckle grip on what might need to look like, so that you can actually start to hear what that next step might be. Self-care, soul care is part of this pray. I am a huge advocate of self-care because as a foundation, that enables everything else to fit. It's like the big rocks when you have the sand and then the rocks and you want to fit it into a jar. You put the big rocks in first, which are self-care, soul care, getting aligned, getting yourself peaceful, calming that chatter. Then you put the sand in. You can actually make it fit. But if you put the sand in first, you start to go to the solutions first, then it doesn't fit together and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't work. So that self-care, soul care, getting calm, praying is the first P so that you can start to get aligned and hear what that next step is. The next one is prioritize, okay? For me, it looks like a brain dump. I have this notebook. This thing is my best friend. When I feel like, too much going on, too many to-do lists, I brain dump and just write everything on my mind so that I can then start to sort it out. I can then start to clump things together. I can put the errands together. I can put the emails and text messages. I can put the, mom life, business life. I can clump things together. Then in each area, I can pick that activity that's going to yield the highest payoff. So look through, that's the prioritize part of this. Look through your list and say, okay, which activity is going to give me the highest payoff? It's going to move the needle the most. Which one of these things is actually going to move me toward my purposeful goal the most? Not the easiest, not the quickest items, but the things that actually move the needle the most. Those things are going to be at the top of your priority. And you can start to see that. You can see, okay, when I run my errands, I've got this clump right here. I've thought it out, and I can do it all at once instead of kind of random going here and there, wasting time, wasting energy. It's going to help you have it all and live in the cracks, make these things happen in the cracks. Okay, so then the third P is plan. Okay, now this is something that is crucial to having it all. We can't fly by the seat of our pants and have it all. It doesn't work. So what I do, and what really works well for me is every single night, I get out my phone, which this is where I put all my appointments because it's right there. I can set reminders for myself in my calendar. I say, okay, these are the things that are appointments. And then I say, and here's my list. What's my highest yield activity? And then I start to orchestrate my day. I visualize my day the night before. I say, okay, this is when I'm going to do that. I've got my time chunks, right? And this is where you start to create, oh, that's the next. But this is where you start to be an architect of your day. So you can see when things are going to happen, and then you can start to know that everything's going to happen in the time chunk. Things will work as you plan ahead, and you get specific with that. Sometimes it only takes about 10 minutes at night to plan that next day, but it makes the hugest difference between feeling like you're prepared, feeling like you're creating your day, versus being reactive all day long. And we all know that. We hear that all the time. But I am here to say 10 minutes of planning the night before is an absolute game changer for the amount of peace and productivity for that next day. So that is the third P, is plan. The fourth one is prepare. Now, this is about eating the frog. If you look at your day and you say, oh, I need to clean my house before, 9 o'clock a.m. And you look and you say, okay, it's 9:30. What if I took 15 minutes? We call it a 15-minute miracle. What if I ate that frog tonight so that I could get that done? I would feel more prepared, and it would be less time to get something done versus putting it off until the morning and then feeling panicked, feeling rushed, feeling behind, feeling reactive. So you plan ahead, see if there's things that you can do ahead of time that will make things smoother. This has been so life-changing for me. One thing that I really like to do is do things when I think about it. So if I'm setting an appointment, if I know I'm going to have that appointment for the next few months, I'll set 3 months worth of appointments when I sit down instead of just doing one. So preparing, kind of eating that frog before it becomes a problem so that you can be more peaceful. That has been huge for me. This is all about time blocking too. So you look at your day and you say, okay, here's where I'm going to do these different things. This is my family time. This is my self-care, soul care time. This is my business time. And you can start to see how it can fit together and see how you can truly have it all by living in those time blocks and by establishing those the night before. The last P is present. So we have prayed, we've prioritized, we have planned, and we have prepared. These things sound like they take a lot of time, you guys. Once you get good at this, it can happen so quick, and it actually is something that you can practice at and get better and quicker at. But once you've done those things, then you get to be present. And it's not about trying to multitask. Multitasking is actually a myth, and it's something that we think we're being more productive, but truly we're not. And it causes that anxiety of feeling like, I can't do it all. I'm trying to do these 5 things at once. I'm not enjoying this. There's no joy. There's no abundance. There's no peace. If you're trying to do a lot of things all at once, chances are you're not going to feel peaceful, and that can wear you out and burn you out. So this last P is being present. Commit to being in the moment. It is not about the quantity of time. It's about the quality. So I want you to write down these 4 words. Being present is about intensity, about being committed to the moment and what's happening in front of us and you, being intentional with that time that you are present in, and then being 100% present. If you are 100% present in your time blocks, you are going to feel peace. You're going to create joy. You're going to create connection. You're going to move the needle in whatever time block you are in because you are 100% present. There is no way to have joy and peace when you are not present. And that is not a fun and fulfilling and abundant way to live. So being present is the best. And the thing that's so cool is it's fun to be present. It's fun to feel that peace of, I've written out my day. For me, I'm visual. I like to write it out so I can see it. Helps me visualize and create it. For me, it is so peaceful to say, yay, right now, the only thing I'm doing is having magic time with my kids. For the next 30 minutes, my one and only purpose is to look into their eyes and create joy and create magic and have fun and laugh our heads off. And that is the best, because then guess what? That 30 minutes is up, and then you get to shift to the next time block, and then it's more fun to shift gears and you feel like inspired. Yes, now I'm excited to dig into my business. And I know that these 3 activities are my highest yield payoff activities that I'm going to do. And you feel excited to shift gears. I want to tell you a quick story before I end here. My Dolly girl Lucy, yesterday I was totally committed to have a connection time with her. It was coming to the end of the night, and I was determined and committed with peace in my heart that I was going to create magic. A lot of times we think it has to be this 3-hour date where we go buy her all this amazing stuff and we have dinner together, right? That's kind of the rigid black and white thinking. But I was committed to have it all, and I was committed to create joy and connection with that girl. I had to run an errand in like 20 minutes. And I said, Lucy girl, you're coming with me. Let's go. We created magic. We created connection. We had fun. It was amazing. And it took 20 minutes. And I actually was able to run an errand. So I was actually able to knock something off my to-do list and create this magical experience with my Dolly girl. It took 20 minutes. That is having it all. You're open to the possibility. And this is how you can make it happen. It was so magical. My heart was on fire. And I felt so grateful that I got to be a mom. And then I was so excited to shift gears and share my heart about my business in like 30 minutes later. So you can see how it starts to really take shape when you're open to the idea of having it all and you follow those 5 Ps and you are present most of all. So just like everything else, you guys, that's worthwhile, this is going to take some practice. It's going to take some time. You've got to exercise compassion on yourself. Do not beat yourself up. This is not black and white. It's a practice. You're going to take baby steps. You're going to have flexibility with how these things look, and you're going to focus on your progress. Focus on what you're doing right. Focus on the direction that you're moving. Do not focus on doing it perfectly. You're going to write your day out, and guess what? You're going to be flexible because you're going to see that not everything works out, and that's okay. It doesn't work out perfectly every single time. But as you do these things, you're going to see that you do have more time, and you can have it all, and you can have joy. You can have peace. You can move the needle and show up in your purpose in these different ways as you practice these things. So my hope for you is that you will implement these 5 Ps in just 1 or 2 baby steps. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start small. You're going to get momentum. You're going to start to see how these things working. You're going to start to trust yourself more, give yourself compassion, and you are going to create the most amazing year for yourself as you practice these things. So thank you so much. We'll see you all later.